Alright, chat, let's get it, bro. Where are these images even real?
Solway Firth Spaceman.
Where?
On May 23, 1964, a British fireman named Jim Templeton took his wife Annie and his two kids Elizabeth and Francis to Burgh Marsh, an area of grassland overlooking a famous estuary located off the southwest coast of Scotland. According to Jim, the only two other people in the marsh that day besides him and his family were two older women sitting in their car at the far end of the grassland. As an amateur photographer, Jim loved taking pictures of his kids, and so he took his camera on the day trip and photographed his 5-year-old daughter Elizabeth wearing her brand new dress. The family spent the entire day enjoying the sunshine and taking family photographs, after which Jim took the pictures to be developed. But when he went to pick them up a week later, he noticed something had appeared on one of the pictures. Although most of the photographs seemed completely normal and featured his daughter enjoying the sunshine in her flowery dress, the chemist who developed the role mentioned to Jim that one of the pictures had unfortunately been ruined by a strange figure standing behind his daughter. When Jim himself analyzed the photo in question, he was sort of disturbed.
What figure, though?
Standing right behind his daughter in the grassland was the figure of what appeared to be a man in a spacesuit.
The fuck?
This was pretty shocking to Jim, as he was 100% sure that there had been nobody else with him and his family at the marsh that day. Suspecting that maybe the chemist had somehow altered the photograph, he sent it to Kodak for analysis, but a few days later they got back to him with confirmation that the photograph was genuine and hadn't been altered in any way. For some reason, Jim's first reaction was to go to the police, but understandably they weren't interested in the case and immediately dismissed it.
Yeah, who's gonna believe you on that?
Determined to get the story out there, Jim then went to the owners of the local newspaper, who were a lot more interested in the story than the cops. The next day, the photograph of Jim's daughter was in every newspaper in Cumbria.
Oh shit.
The mysterious, unexplained image started gaining traction, and a few days later the photograph of the little girl was now being featured in pretty much every newspaper in the world, with millions of people wondering where the spaceman had come from. As the photograph received—
First of all, whoever done this bitch's bangs, I know she's a little ass kid, nigga, but whoever done her fucking bangs, my nigga, completely fucked up. Completely fucked up, man.
More and more international attention, Kodak seized the opportunity for free publicity by launching a prize for anyone who could prove the photograph had been faked, but nobody could. While the photograph was being published by dozens of newspapers all over the world, a similar incident in Australia made the story explode even more. Just days after Jim took the now infamous photograph, a Blue Streak missile launch at the Woomera test range in South Australia was aborted after the missile technicians got spooked at the sight of two large men standing in the firing range. In a BBC interview, Jim alleged that when the technicians saw his daughter's photograph in an Australian newspaper, they claimed the figures they had seen on the firing range were identical to the spaceman in the photograph. Although this was never officially confirmed, Jim's allegations brought even more attention to the story when it was
y'all think rocket ships are real, though? Y'all think niggas really— I don't think niggas really been to the fucking moon, bro. I think that shit is all cap. I don't think nobody been to the moon.
Revealed that the Blue Streak missile whose launch had been aborted in South Australia had been built at a base very close to Solway Firth.
I think niggas just go so high, they just go out, like, out the reach where you can't even see these niggas, and they just land in the water again. And then when they come back type shit, they just been in the water, nigga. Like, it just been footage of them already in the water. I don't even think, like, how the fuck bro, how do you get to space and come back down with the rocket ship again? Am I tripping or no?
As the story blew up, Jim mentioned that a few days after the photograph was published, two men in suits claiming to be UK government agents arrived at his door. According to Jim, the men refused to show him their ID, claiming that they were only identified as number 9 and number 11 by the government. Although he didn't buy this story, the men were extremely insistent that Jim take them to the exact spot where the photograph was taken. When they arrived, Jim mentioned to the two mysterious men in suits that when he took the photograph, he had not seen the spaceman in the marsh. Allegedly, as soon as he said that, the two men got back in their car and drove away abruptly, leaving him to walk home alone. In a later interview, Jim dismissed the men as frauds who were probably just pulling his leg and were probably not involved with the government. As you can imagine, while all of this is happening, people started speculating and coming up with all kinds of theories to explain the appearance of the mysterious spaceman in Jim's picture. After all, this did happen in 1964, at the very peak of the space race, and a lot of people were incredibly suggestible to the idea of life on other planets.
Bro,
For
this image
almost
is
50
just,
years,
like,
people came up
stupid,
with
though.
all kinds of theories to explain the spaceman in the photograph, most of them relating to extraterrestrial life or a possible
What the
staging.
fuck is that?
But
Nigga,
it wasn't
that's
until
not real
48
footage.
years later in 2012 that a solid theory by a credible source finally came to light. According to Dr. David Clark, a social sciences professor at Sheffield Hallam University, the mysterious spaceman was really just Jim's wife, Annie Templeton, who had probably walked into the photograph without Jim noticing and turned her back to Jim at the exact moment he took the picture. If you look at some of the other photographs Jim took that day, you can see Annie was wearing a blue dress and had her arms exposed, which explains how she could end up looking like a spaceman if the photograph was overexposed.
Right.
Because Jim's intention was to photograph his daughter and not his wife, it's very possible that Annie was out of focus in the picture, which made her dress and body look very white after the role was developed,
it's
almost
weird.
like
It's
she
not
was wearing a
creepy.
spacesuit.
It's more weird. Like, what the
As
fuck
for the
is it?
dome-like helmet on her head, this was probably just a cloud or the moon, which is often visible during the daytime when it's in its waxing gibbous phase, which it was on that day. Although this is the most logical explanation, if you look up explanations for the Solway Firth spaceman photo today, you'll still find literally thousands of blogs and videos with all kinds of—
Bro, chat, this nigga scares me, gang. This nigga be having me look back 24/7. Every time I watch him, I be looking back.
outlandish theories about the image, with some of them even being pretty new. Considering all the information available today, it's very safe to say this image has been debunked. It doesn't show some mystery spaceman the family just hadn't noticed in person or some other kind of extraterrestrial life. However, the Solway Firth spaceman photo will always be a classic in the bizarre images genre.
Damn, was it that
Another
deep?
mystery that's been solved is the easiest way
That
to meet your
long-ass
daily
video.
nutrition goals, and that's with Factor. Your door
Back
including
up, nigga,
which
back
side
up.
you can head to send off 3 of its
Damn,
days.
scared.
Raymond Robinson was born in 1910 in
What the
Beaver
fuck
County,
is that?
Pennsylvania, and lived pretty much as every normal kid did at the time.
1919.
He went to school, spent time with his family, played with his
nigga
friends,
was
and
born
did
in
chores around the
1910.
house. But a few years later, a tragic incident changed his life forever. One day in June 1919, when Raymond was 9 years old, he spent the morning with his friends at a local swimming hole.
Oh shit.
On their way home, they crossed the Pittsburgh, Harmony, Butler, and Newcastle Railway Bridge, where they spotted a bird's nest sitting on top of a pole.
Okay.
After daring each other to climb on top of the pole and count the birds inside the nest, Raymond stepped forward to take the dare and began climbing the pole. This is where things get a little dark.
This nigga got electrocuted.
Unfortunately, the pole was connected to a live wire with over
Oh,
25,000 volts of electricity. At some point during the climb,
Oh,
Raymond
shit.
accidentally touched the coil, and you can probably guess what happened next. A couple of
That
hours
fried
later, he
his
woke up in the
face?
hospital where the doctors were shocked he'd even survived the incident. Sadly, Raymond's eyes were literally burned out, and the
Nigga,
rest
what
of
the
his
fuck?
face, arms, and
Wait,
hands
hold
were
on.
also badly burned, leaving him looking
Nigga, did he touch the bolt and the bolt go through his body?
unfortunately less human.
Chat, y'all know how cartoons, when they get electrocuted, you can see the electrocution go through the whole shit? Is that really what happened?
After an incident like that, a lot of people would completely
real?
give up on life, but not Raymond.
The fuck?
As soon as he was discharged from the hospital, he learned Braille and started weaving doormats, wallets,
Hell
and
nah.
belts as
Yo.
a way to make some.
Explain how niggas read this shit. All you blind niggas out there, if y'all can see me, how do y'all read this shit? How the fuck do y'all read dots, nigga? Y'all just touching, feeling shit. How? How can y'all read dots and fill dots? That makes no sense. Bro, I be at school, bro. They be having like the numbers of the classes, nigga, and the braille, nigga. I be trying to touch that bitch. Bro, how? How? If y'all was watching my stream, bro, please type in the chat how y'all could how y'all could read this shit. That ass. That
Extra
shit don't make no
cash.
sense.
In his nephew's own words, he never discussed his injuries or problems at all. It was all just a reality, and there was nothing he could do about it, so he never spoke about it. He never complained about anything. All throughout the rest of his childhood and well into his adult years, Raymond loved listening to the radio during the day and going on long walks along Route 351 at night, sometimes
Hell
for
no.
hours at a time.
What the fuck?
When rumors started spreading in Beaver County about a man without a face walking the streets of
This nigga
Pennsylvania,
what the fuck? Bro, I ain't gonna lie, chat. I'm just ending my life, nigga, in GTA. This nigga look like a deformed Mickey Mouse, game. What is that? Bro, you can't even get pussy no more, or dick. You gotta go with animals. Like, what is that? Bro, that's scary as hell. Like, nigga, you gotta, I'm sorry, gang, but you gotta take yourself out in GTA for other people. Like, you gotta think, like, nigga, if they see you look like this, nigga, on the street, you know what you doing to the community? Bro, this nigga look creepy as fuck. Like, you can't even see, my nigga. What is you doing? Good for him, I guess, though.
In the dead of
You know what I'm
night,
saying?
the locals
really
did everything they
dude.
could to catch a glimpse of him.
Bro, what the
Even
fuck
though he
is
mostly
that?
avoided contact with strangers out of fear of scaring people, they always ended up finding him. Although most of the locals
Oh, hell no. Nigga.
were just curious to meet him and make friends with him, others abused him pretty brutally for no reason, sometimes offering him rides and dropping him off far away from home, hitting him with their cars, and even physically beating him.
Oh shit. Y'all niggas is fucked up. Yo, y'all seen this nigga can't see, burnt Mickey Mouse, and y'all hitting this nigga with the car? And picking him up? And dropping him off far from home and he can't see shit? Bro, y'all niggas... Alright, bro.
But even with all the abuse, Raymond refused to let it get to him and continued going on his walks for several decades. Even though Raymond was obviously a real person and a pretty nice guy according to everyone who met him, an urban legend quickly grew around him while he was still alive, which earned him the...
I couldn't be alive, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm just like, bro, nigga, God forbid, nigga, knock on wood, nigga. If I lose my eyes, nigga, I'm done. Just take me. I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to be here no more.
Nicknames Charlie No Face and Green Man. According to the legend, Charlie No Face was a sort of ghoul or boogeyman who walked the streets of Pennsylvania at night, looking to terrorize anyone who crossed paths with him. Though, a lot of people didn't believe it and chalked it up to another urban legend that didn't carry any truth whatsoever. However, some people who found him walking the streets took images of him, which took the urban legend to a whole new level.
Wow.
But still, a lot of people thought the images were fake, when in reality they were 100% real, only the legend behind them wasn't. Even though the real Raymond Robinson died in 1985, people have continued to carry the legend to this day, spreading rumors about alleged sightings of a terrifying monster with no face haunting the streets of Beaver County. As you can imagine, the locals have put their own twist on the story through the decades, with some people claiming Charlie No Face intentionally ripped off his own face just to scare people.
I'm not gonna lie. This nigga is overly strong, gang. You telling me you walked around the streets looking like this, nigga? Bro, this nigga look like a deformed, fucked up Mickey Mouse, gang. You know how strong you have to be to, like, genuinely want to stay alive? And want to, like, really just, like, still go on walks at night? How the fuck is you walking at night? How can you see where you're going? The fuck? Like, bro, that don't even make any sense. Bro, this shit is scary as hell. No troll. I'm beating this nigga, but if I'm hitting this nigga with a car too if I see him. I can't even blame them. Nigga, look at this nigga. Rest in peace to him. It's sad that happened to him. But nigga, no, like, what the fuck? Nigga, I'm hitting him too. What the fuck is that? Nigga, imagine you walking. Nigga, imagine you just on a stroll, nigga, and you see this thing. Y'all telling me y'all not finna just hit this nigga and run? Like, come on, bro.
And others alleging he fell into a vat of acid.
No,
although the myth of Charlie No Face checks pretty much all the boxes of a traditional urban legend, this is one of those rare cases where it actually carries some truth. You could really find Raymond walking the streets at night looking like he did in the images taken of him. Only he wasn't looking to scare or harm anybody, but rather simply go on a walk.
But that's the problem, gang. Like, I feel like that's selfish as fuck. Like, I know you want to go on walks, nigga. You can't do much with your life, but nigga, I'm sorry, but like, if you look like that, you can't leave the house, bro. I don't even know how you know where you're walking in the first place. But rest in peace to him,
Despite all the crazy rumors and the obviously fake stories people made up about him, Raymond Robinson's story is a strong reminder to live life to the fullest, no matter your circumstances.
Hey, W. Raymond, man.
The Amityville Ghost Boy.
See, we're not finna start doing this. Cause, nigga, I just got chills through my fucking spine, nigga. God is with us, chat. God is with us, chat.
In December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz moved into their new home at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York.
Fuck is this?
Just 40 miles from New York City, the 5-bedroom Dutch colonial house was George and Kathy's dream home, especially since they only had to pay $80,000 for it. If the price seems too good to be true, that's because it was, and George and Kathy were well aware that the house had been vacant for a year after the last family who lived at 112 Ocean Avenue had been violently murdered. In November 1974, just over a year before the Lutzes moved in, 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr. brutally murdered his family in their sleep, triggering a long, dark, and confusing court case that concluded with more questions than answers.
Oh my god.
Despite the home's history, the Lutzes were thrilled to be moving in.
No life.
But their joy was short-lived. For less than a month later, they abruptly left the home with all their belongings inside and never returned, claiming that the house was haunted by evil spirits. When asked about what happened at the house, George mentioned that ever since they moved in, they had been consumed by intense mood swings and dark emotional episodes where he would start to feel an intense sense of hatred towards his family.
What the fuck?
The family also alleged that they had seen a mysterious green slime oozing down from some of the walls at random times throughout the day, and had even been waking up almost every night at exactly 3:15 a.m., the same time the previous family had been murdered before they moved in. In one particularly disturbing incident, George claimed that one night when he was standing on the front lawn, he saw a half-man, half-pig creature with red eyes staring down at him from one of the upstairs windows. According to the priest who had blessed the house after the Lutzes moved in, on the day of the blessing, he had allegedly heard a male voice shouting at him to get out of the house, and in the days following his visit to the Lutzes' home, he claimed to have fallen ill with blood seeping out of his hands. After leaving the home, the Lutzes wrote a book about their experience, which went on to inspire countless horror movies, including the original 1979 The Amityville Horror, the 2005 remake of the same movie featuring Ryan Reynolds, and The Conjuring 2, which revolved around Ed and Lorraine Warren's investigation of the allegedly haunted house at 112 Ocean Avenue. In 1952, Ed and Lorraine Warren founded the New England Society for Psychic Research. For 50 years, the couple ran a well-known paranormal investigations operation, with several of the cases they investigated serving as the inspiration for movies such as Annabelle and The Haunting in Connecticut. 5 months after the Lutz family left the house on Ocean Avenue, the Warrens conducted an investigation of the house, during which they alleged that all kinds of creepy things happened to them, none of which were caught on camera. Though during the investigation, Ed and Lorraine captured a photo of what appears to be the creature, and if you look at some of the pictures of Bart from that night, you'll notice he was wearing a plaid shirt, very similar to the one worn by the supposed ghost boy. As it was later discovered, despite the Warrens' claims, the boy in the picture was not actually a boy at all, but Paul Bart kneeling on the floor and taking some measurements. The creepy glare of his eyes was caused by the reflection of his glasses, and not by some strange demonic force as the Warrens claimed in later interviews. As of 2024, much, if not all, of the alleged haunting that took place at the house on Ocean Avenue in 1975 has been debunked. That's less scary,
what the fuck? That's overly less scary.
In the public view, many people remember Ed and Lorraine Warren as charlatans and scammers who did some pretty messed up stuff at the height of their power. That, along with the photo being proved as a setup, is almost conclusive evidence that nothing was really going on here, and everything claimed to have happened was a straight-up lie.
Wow.
Since the Lutzes left in early 1976, the house has been sold 4 times, and not a single one of the new buyers has complained about any kind of paranormal activity at 112 Ocean Avenue.
I would never in my life, my nigga.
Cooper family
first, bro. What in the bumblefuck chills? What the fuck is you showing, my nigga?
Falling body. This image of a happy family sitting around a dinner table while a dark, creepy shadow in what appears to be some sort of dress hanging upside down over the centerpiece has been reposted all over the internet for the past decade, often as part of collections like Top 10 Unexplained and Disturbing Photos. The alleged backstory of the strange image in question goes that at some point in the 1950s, the Cooper family bought an old house in Texas and moved into it. On their first night there, Mr. Cooper took a photo of his wife and mother posing with his 2 kids at the dining room table. With the Cooper family story of the strange image the goods did, they were shocked to see what appeared to be the shadow of a body hanging from the ceiling and over the dining room table.
What is that?
According to the family, the strange figure had not been present at the time the picture was taken, otherwise they definitely would have noticed it. As the story goes, they were never able to find out who or what had invaded their beautiful family portrait. Some sources claim that one of the chemists developing the film threw a negative from a separate photo of the famous ballerina Margot Fontaine over the original and played with the exposure to get a creepy effect and play a prank on the family. At least, that's the story you'll find in the videos that feature the infamous photo. However, through my research, I was able to find that the entire story is completely fake.
Oh shit,
Pretty much from start to finish, the story of the Cooper family is completely made up, and it's very likely that the image itself was digitally altered in Photoshop or some other editing software. From what I found, the first time the photograph was posted online was back in 2009 when a user named Sam Cohen uploaded it under the title Family Gathering to a site called Ligotti.net, a fan website for the famous horror writer Thomas Ligotti. Interestingly, Sam Cohen categorized the photograph as art, which suggests the picture was digitally fabricated as part of some sort of art project. Other details in the image itself seem to back this up, including the symmetrical dark spots in the corners of the image, which were probably edited using Photoshop to make the photograph look authentic. It's possible that the photograph of the family was taken back in an art project, but if Sam Cohen was the original guest,
we good off of this shit,
and was reposted and gathering had been stolen, the image
I'm skipping this shit. Chat, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Road to 1K on the way. Let's get it, man.